Thanks so much for being with us here on Atlanta News First Plus. Just want to share with you some of the top stories that we are following right now. There's an investigation at the moment underway into whatever caused a house fire in Roswell. So thankfully a family in Roswell was able to escape the flames after their home caught fire last night. You can see some of the damage. So when neighbors saw smoke coming from the back of the house, thankfully they immediately called 911, and 9 people managed to get out of the house safely. But as you can see, that's the damage left behind. Flames erupting from that home. The homeowner told us that he had just gotten back into town. He was inside of the home relaxing with his family when they started smelling smoke come from the back of the house. Neighbors also smelled this. And again, they called 911. Thankfully, everyone was able to get out in just the nick of time. Let's listen.
Originated in the rear of the structure, and then it spread towards the attic space. So we do have our fire marshal's office there on the scene, and they'll be conducting an investigation to determine the cause.
Yeah, so 2 people were evaluated by medics to make sure that they're okay, but luckily, everyone did survive. The cause of this still under investigation. We're going to keep following for any updates on that. Also today, Cobb County Police are expecting to release a brand new video showing the capture and the arrest of the suspected Midtown shooter, and that's with the help of some security cameras as well. Madeline Montgomery has more.
The Cobb County Security Camera Registration Program is a partnership between police and anyone who has a security camera. So it can be a homeowner with a Ring camera, or it could be someone with a business who has a really fancy system. And what it does is it lets police know where exactly cameras are when they're looking for surveillance video. And this is really similar to programs we've already talked about here on Atlanta News First. They have this in Sandy Springs and they have this in DeKalb County. And police are saying this is more important now than ever, especially after this big arrest of the alleged Midtown shooter. And so they're saying this is one way to capture criminals. Another thing that they do here in Cobb County is they use flock cameras, and those are set up on roads and they read license plate numbers. Cobb County Police Chief says that flock cameras were actually the first thing that let police know that Dion Patterson was in Cobb County on the day of the Midtown shooting.
We were certain it was him, and we actually saw him go into a building that was being built, and not inside the battery, but just outside the battery, right across from Truist Park. The combination of the people and the technology, to me, definitely saved lives.
If you're interested in registering your security camera with the Cobb County Connect program, we have the link on atlantanewsfirst.com, or you can use our app. And then at 4 o'clock today, right here at Cobb County Police Headquarters, we are going to be hearing from the police about the capture of Patterson, and we're going to be seeing that new video, and of course we are going to share it with you. Reporting in Cobb County, I'm Madeline Montgomery, Atlanta News First.
Thanks to Madeline for that report. Georgia Power is expected to vote on another rate increase today. Georgia Power ratepayers' monthly bills already jumped once this year by roughly $4 a month. The utility says the cost of electricity and fuel rose over the last few years, leading to this increase. If the rate increase is approved today, power bills will likely rise by 12% in June. Another topic we've been talking so much about is the future Atlanta Public Safety Training Facility. We've learned that Atlanta City Council is moving forward to the next phase, approving some tax dollars to fund another piece of this project. My colleague, Atlanta News First reporter Tori Cooper, has more.
Tonight was supposed to be the first leg of this approval process, but this unexpected turnout for public comment is slowing that process down.
I love seeing people being involved, but again, our obligation is to listen to the public, but it's also to provide the resources that the city needs for our employees.
Councilmember Julian Bond is one of the council members in the chamber tonight listening.
I believe it's vital that our police officers receive proper training.
He's in favor of the project, but he says council can't introduce the funding resolution until all 288 people who signed up for public comment get 2 minutes to share their voice.
I'm here to reject the Cobb City funding and to oppose the building of Cobb City as a whole.
Right before 6:30, several city council members got up from their seats, some asking for a recess break after this happened. police filed in and eventually public comment resumed.
So City Council, I urge you not to approve the funding towards this project.
That was Tori Cooper reporting. You know, we are keeping an eye on the skies today. By we, I really mean meteorologist Rodney Harris, watching the forecast for us. You know, it definitely is feeling a little more like summer these days, but what is to come? Are we expecting some precipitation out there? Rodney has just kind of been keeping an eye on that. And he's going to join us with our forecast momentarily. But you can see kind of this is what he's put together in terms of first alert severe outlook for later tonight and this evening, but something that we're going to be watching here. So, Rodney, what does this mean when we're looking at this map here that says first alert severe outlook?
That means that there is the opportunity for some isolated severe thunderstorms later on this evening. Joy, I'm sorry, I was putting that on social media as well. We're making sure that that's all over the place so you understand what's happening. That first alert that we are tracking today, I do want to point out, and I'll bring up the camera here so I can talk to you here a little bit, that the first alert is not for this morning and it's not for the first part of the afternoon. So if you do have any plans this morning or afternoon, you should be mostly fine in Metro Atlanta. That first alert will start after 4 p.m., really like after 6 p.m. for Metro Atlanta. So let's get back to that map. And what you see in green there, that's what we call a level 1 risk. It's a low-end risk for severe storms on a scale of 1 to 5. 1 is the lowest risk and 5 is the highest. You can actually see the yellow further north. The center of the storm system that's going to produce our storms is going to be further north up in the Midwest, and that's why you see that higher risk further north. But we will see some storms moving south, first into the mountains and then into Metro Atlanta, and they will still be capable of producing severe thunderstorms, with the biggest concern for us this evening being the potential for some damaging winds that could bring some trees down. So it's not impossible that we see a few severe thunderstorm warnings this evening here across Metro Atlanta. Here's a look at first alert radar right now. You can see where we are completely dry right now, no issues whatsoever. Our high resolution forecast model will start at lunchtime, and it's still dry. So if you have any plans for lunch, you're in good shape. But by 4 o'clock, we'll start to see some pop-up storms in northwest Georgia, maybe even in West Georgia. This is very similar to what we saw yesterday, where we had those storms way up north and west, basically north and west of Rome. That'll be possible again this afternoon at 4, 5 o'clock. And then notice what happens. Basically between 6 and 7 o'clock, we'll start to see those storms develop closer to Metro Atlanta and maybe even south of there. So 7 o'clock is kind of the first alert for Metro Atlanta. And it's not even completely widespread, but those storms will be possible. And then it's going to be multiple waves of rain. So notice at 9 o'clock, there's another little line of storms that's moving into northwest Georgia. That's the actual front itself. And that stuff will start to move in during the overnight hours. So again, multiple rounds of storms are expected later on today, mainly during the evening and going into the overnight hours. It does look like that even though the rain will continue into the overnight hours, all of this will be out of here in time for your Wednesday morning commutes. As you're driving to work on Wednesday morning, we are not concerned about any rain, but definitely something that we're going to be watching again starting tonight, this evening for Metro Atlanta, and continuing for the overnight hours. So something we want you to be kind of prepared for. Again, it's a first alert. Not really looking at tornadoes or anything like that, but rain and lightning certainly expected, and the potential at least for some isolated damaging winds will be possible in the North Georgia mountains first, and then kind of extending down into Metro Atlanta. So be prepared for that if you have any plans this evening and tonight. And don't forget to have that first alert weather app ready to rock and roll. Download that before the storms move in. It's a good idea to do, especially whenever you have storms that are moving in during the overnight hours. That's super important because a lot of times you're going to be asleep. So if there's something that's actually dangerous, you'll get that audio alert on your phone letting you know that those storms are moving through. I'll tell you that beyond tonight, the rain chances are going to lower for the rest of the week. They're not going to completely go away. We're getting into this summertime pattern where the fronts aren't quite as strong, so they don't move like all the way through Georgia, and that's what's going to happen this week. That front that's going to produce the storms for us tonight will linger around for the rest of the week. So we're going to keep a slight chance of rain in your forecast, especially south of Atlanta for the rest of the week. It looks like Friday may be the day where we're completely dry, and then another chance of rain will kind of come back for Saturday. But again, the first alert tonight is just to kind of warn you about those storms that we are expecting again this evening and going into the overnight hours, and we'll certainly keep you up to date on that right here on all of our social channels. And in addition to Atlanta News First Chief Meteorologist Jennifer Valdez is working on an updated forecast for you at noon, and she'll have that, so be sure and join her at noon for the latest. And until next time, everybody stay safe, and we'll see you soon.